Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky with my plans and pans. It's going to be abbreviated this week because, you know what, we have not come to a conclusion of this Congress because we cannot seem to get a deal either on the end of year funding for the government, but especially to figure out how we're going to deal with this COVID crisis and provide some relief for our families. And speaking of COVID, the numbers keep growing. It's the good news and the bad news. The bad news is that over 3,000 people now have died. We crossed this amazing mark where it's even more now than the people who died in all of World War II have been killed by this virus, and the numbers keep growing, and it doesn't seem to be relief in sight except for the vaccine. And of course, we've seen now that the Pfizer vaccines have been distributed. We've seen people taking them. They're going to hospitals. They're going to be going soon to nursing homes. This is really, really important. And Moderna, a second drug manufacturer, has been approved, and we're going to see more of those going out. The reality is that for the majority of Americans, there's not going to be enough of the vaccines to make sure that we're going to be in the next few months being able to vaccinate enough people. But, you know, you can watch and see when your group, when your family members may be on the list, and encourage them to take the vaccine, to be inoculated when they are allowed to. That's one of the challenges that we face. There's still craziness going on at the White House. You know, Attorney General William Barr has resigned. Not clear what that exactly means. With just over a month now to go until we finally have an inauguration. And speaking of an inauguration, we got a letter explaining that the only people that will have tickets to the inauguration are members of Congress and one guest. My videographer and husband, Bob, will be my one guest. Other than that, it's going to be virtual. And I know many of you have already asked, can you come to the inauguration? And the answer is yes. You'll be able to see something on television, but due to the virus, we're not going to be having a normal inauguration. So I'm really sorry about that, and if there's any change as we go forward, I will be sure to let you know. So what's holding up the works? There's no agreement yet on exactly what we're going to be able to get to stop the suffering, or at least to give some relief to people, like survivor checks. I've been pushing really hard that what people want is actual money in their pockets. And what is on the table right now is $600 a person in a family. So let's say there's 4 people. It's possible that it could be $2,400. Don't know exactly yet how that would work because there's no agreement. And unemployment insurance. We know that 16.4 million Americans, 500,000 here in Illinois, will lose their unemployment insurance the day after Christmas. And so we're hoping that there's going to be something, maybe a $300 a week check that goes to people. They're still squabbling over his money. They're going to be money for state and localities that will come. We were certainly hoping to be done right now, and it looks like today, instead, there's going to be another continuing resolution. In other words, postponing the end of the session when we would run out of money for another couple of days. So those discussions continue to go on, and I will report to you when we know more. So there are some exciting happenings at the transition. You know, Pete Buttigieg is now going to be nominated, or has been nominated, as the Secretary of Transportation. Gina McCarthy, some of you who go to my luncheon every year may remember, she was the EPA administrator and just a real dynamo. And now she will be head of the White House Domestic Climate Coordination. And that's exciting. And Michael Regan, who has a great reputation from North Carolina, was nominated to be head of the EPA. And a really exciting selection, and that is Deb Haaland, one of the first 2 Native Americans to be in the United States House of Representatives. So she's a colleague of mine. And now she was nominated to be the Secretary of the Interior. Really a huge step forward. So that's exciting. But as far as finally ending the 116th Congress, I'll have to give you an update when it comes. Hopefully it'll be in a day or 2, and we'll see how it all ends, how this Trump administration and this Congress finally comes to a close. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.